yo, Lloyd aka MegaBlitzz. In today's video, we're going to be looking at how I carried a game in Marvel Rivals playing Jeff the Landshark. Jeff's kind of been known as one of the worst characters actually in the game, as he doesn't really bring a whole lot of utility unless you play him right. So let's get into it. Already here at that gameplay footage, I don't really know. Anyway, about a week ago, I put out a video about me playing World of Warcraft and kind of my thoughts of the catch-up mechanics and all that stuff. And in that video, I kind of hinted at playing a different game on the side while taking a break from the Pokemon trading card game, and that game was Marvel Rivals. Now, Jeff the Landshark is a character that I have been playing pretty consistently, and Jeff the Landshark is kind of known as like one of the worst characters in the game as far as the support aspect goes, because he doesn't really have a healing ult. He doesn't really provide a lot for the team in a typical fashion or very normal way that the other strategists and other healers and support characters in this game does. However, Jeff can be very useful if played properly. He's a very disrupting character. He's meant to be frustrating and annoying and to kind of just disrupt the enemy team by separating them or by kind of going behind them and applying pressure in their back line, by disrupting the other healers and other support characters that our opponent has. Now, Jeff's healing isn't all that great, but he does put out a lot of damage and is very mobile in the game as well. He shoots out these bubbles, which end up being able to kind of give a speed boost and can go underneath the water to basically go faster, right? So that's exactly what you're going to see happen here. You're going to see me keep trying to apply pressure just so we can kind of get the payload moving a little bit. We're just trying to escort this payload to the other end of the map as far as possible before our opponent stops us. Now, I want to shoot this Onk, and that's the other thing that Jeff's really good at, is being able to just kind of get rid of different supporting things that other characters have. Moon Knight with his Onk, being able to do more damage and spread damage quickly. Loki with his like invincibility stones, and then you also have other characters like Penny with their nests where it kind of like puts out mines and stuff. Being able to destroy those as Jeff is very easy because, like I said, very mobile. I can kind of go around and weave into places that other characters in this game can't. So you're going to see me here just trying to apply pressure and just keep the team alive, try to keep pushing this payload as quickly as possible, and I've been trying to learn Jeff as best as I can, mostly because I've always been kind of an underdog person. I like playing the characters that typically tend to be not as good or not as favorable, or people just don't like them as much, or they're very controlling and disrupting. I've always found more enjoyment in stuff like that, and also because I just think he's that gosh darn cute. I mean, look at this thing. He's adorable, right? So now, pushing forward in this game, you're going to realize that in the beginning part, I'm not doing too much as just kind of we're steamrolling the team. However, as the game progresses, there's different parts of the map that are very destructive, and also there are parts that you can kind of just go off the edge of the map. And Jeff's ult is really unique in that way, where it's this really big circle and he swallows everybody in that circle, enemies and allies. So the idea is that you can disrupt certain parts of your enemy team or even save your own team by just swallowing them up and getting out of the way, or kind of saving the allies and getting them out so you can kind of regroup and recharge and try to heal them up really quickly, or by disrupting certain parts of the enemy team by maybe getting something like their healers or maybe their tank and just going off the edge of the map, right? Even if you end up killing yourself, you're at least disrupting enough to where you take out their healers and then your team can push forward or advance because you're hoping that their 4 out of their 4 team is better than theirs or something to that effect, right? So that's something you're going to see here in this match as well, is just me trying to just keep the Hulk alive and keep trying to push forward and just being disruptive and being annoying. So here's the first time I go to ult. I end up getting Moon Knight and their Cloak and Dagger. Now this is where I like a little bit of a misplay because they can actually come back, and that's something I didn't realize that they could do. But nonetheless, it's not too big of a deal, as I think we ended up getting this like kind of fixed, and the team kind of realizes, oh crap, they're still here. So we kind of just separate them from the team for a bit, and we kind of force them to trickle, which is I guess the best way to describe the word trickle is that the team is kind of put off balance, right? They have maybe 4 people alive and then 2 are dead, and the 4 just kind of push forward, right? We're trying to stagger their death times because there is a respawn time when you die in this game, right? You have like 10 or 11 seconds where you're just kind of waiting to respawn and come back to help the team. If you can kind of kill one person and then kill another person 6 seconds later and then another one 5 seconds later, you kind of give yourself more time on the game clock to win the game effectively, right? And kind of stretch everything out. So that's kind of what we ended up doing in that position. Now Moon Knight's going to use his ult, so we want to get out of that real quick. You don't want to get hit with all these huge ghosts and stuff. And I'm just trying to keep the team alive as best I can. But like I said, Jeff's not really meant for that. But he is really good at escaping. So you see here that I was able to just escape the blade and the invisible one pretty quickly. And I'm able to just come back out, bring the person back with me for my Squirrel Girl to kill that blade. So now, once again, we've gotten a kill. Both my Squirrel Girl and I both lived. And now we're in a situation where it's a 6v5. But now our team kind of starts to slowly trickle away. So now my position is, alright, just try to heal them as best as I can. And just try to kind of stabilize everything. But we still have 5.5 minutes left on the game clock. So we have plenty of time to kind of just wait it out. Right now I'm trying to charge my ult, right? And that's the thing where I swallow everybody all up. So we're trying to get that just to push this payload forward. This is a very good spot in the map for Jeff, because there is a part of the map where I can just run off the edge or just kind of spit them off the edge where they can't come back, hopefully. Kind of like you see me try to do before. But if I can swallow 3 or 4 people, I don't mind running off the edge and killing myself in the process of doing so. Because now it's, okay, I killed myself, sure, but I just killed 3 of their teammates as well. So that's exactly what I'm going to try for here. And I waited for the Cloak and Dagger to use their invisibility cloak. And now I have 3 people. I'm just going to run right off the edge, kill all 3 and myself. And now that allows my team to push forward, because now it's effectively a 5v3 situation, right? And they're at a disadvantage because they have less team members. So me doing that has now allowed them, as you can see at the top there, they're just pushing this payload forward. We are pushing it so much further all the way around this corner now because of that one ult that I had. So now we're just trying to get some more picks, trying to get some more stuff, and just trying to keep everything alive and trying to kind of stabilize and get it further in the rest of the map so we can actually close out this game here. Now, we're going to have a rocket ult come down here, which is going to kind of give us a healing boost and stuff. But right now, my position is, okay, I can't really get behind them and disrupt and flank or anything. So the goal is just try to heal from kind of the back line. But my evasiveness did not work super great in that position, as the cloak kind of just melts me away. And that's something else that Jeff is very difficult, is his hitbox is really big because he's just a big shark. And it's really easy to crit him because his head is so big. So in this game, getting a headshot or head hits or whatever is a crit. And like I said, the whole front part of his hitbox is his head. So he's very easy to do a lot of damage. You saw it right there. I only got hit twice and I was already at half health. So he's very squishy in that way. And I feel like he's more squishy and kind of more susceptible to taking more damage than other characters are in this game. But that doesn't stop me from trying to play him and trying to learn him the best I can. But you see our opponent here really pushing back. We're at 3 minutes left and we haven't gotten it back to that position. And they've actually been able to kind of redo some of the progress that we've made, because you saw the spider, that metal spider, was walking down the ramp. If your opponent stands on it, it actually regresses the progress you've made. So that's kind of what ended up happening. But you see here, I'm almost close to my ult in that bottom right corner. I'm at 92%. So we're getting real close to being able to get that ult here and trying to just disrupt and trying to just close everything out. And I'm going to go right for it here. We're going to ult. We're going to get 3 people plus the Hulk. I'm going to turn around, spit out the Hulk, and we're just going to run right off the edge of the map again, getting another 3 kill, disrupting the team, putting us, and we got a kill right before I actually did this. So it was a 5v2 situation. Take up the 2 quick kills, push the payload in for that huge victory there. So now the goal is, do we get MVP? And we did end up getting MVP in this match, actually. So you see there that cute little Jeff the Landshark getting MVP. And the way you can get MVP is by either doing a lot of healing or just kind of making your team just basically being the most valuable player, effectively, right? So in this position, I was able to get a lot of kills as a healer, which is something that's very difficult to actually do, playing a healer. But like I said, Jeff is actually really good at this. As you can see, I got 22 kills right here, 4 deaths, and 14 assists. So I had a triple kill with about 7,000 healing, which is kind of on the low end, but my damage is really high. And I also had 11 final hits, which means I got the last kill on 11 different people. But like I said, most valuable player also goes to things you do in the game, right? So I was able to get 2 triple kills by doing the exact same thing, allowing our team to push the payload in the rest of the way. So that's kind of just the quick recap of Jeff and kind of what's been going on. Let's get into that outro. Alright, it's gonna go over today's video. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys play Marvel Rivals, and if you do, what's the character that you mainly play? Like I said, for myself, it's Jeff the Landshark, and Captain America on the side. Might have a video about that in the future. But like I said, this is kind of one of the first of maybe many videos about Marvel Rivals, and kind of just taking the channel in a little bit more broad things, and not just exclusive about the Pokemon trading card game. As much as I love the Pokemon trading card game, it's been nice kind of making content about different things, and also just sharing the other passions I have with you guys. So I want to thank you guys for all the support that you've given me over the last almost 2 years that I've been making content now for about a solid 2 years. So if you're doing the content I've been making stuff on the channel, definitely leave a like, and if you haven't yet, smash the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. It costs you nothing, and it means the world to me. But that's going to do it for today's video, so I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!